This video is sponsored by Atelier Online. Experience a free-to-play adventure role-playing game featuring your favorite alchemists from the long-standing RPG series with gameplay that combines the features of the previous entries of the Atelier series, now with online play and exciting co-op modes. Download the game on the following link below and redeem this exclusive Atelier Online code in the game to get special bonuses and rewards. Atelier Online, now available for mobile devices. Now, on with the show. Role-playing games, RPGs. Whether they're from Japan or America or Europe or wherever, I do love me some of that good old story-driven, character-building, combat-filled action and experiences. It's one of the chief reasons I love making features and videos under the KKP name in the first place. So, let's talk about the best RPGs of 2021 so far. This vid's made by the start of July and may come off as a bit of a wank fest, but it's my video. If you got comments and questions about my picks and choices, bring it up on the comment section. I'll probably be listening. Or not. We'll see. Also, there will not be spoilers on this video, so feel free to watch this to your heart's content. With that said, let's rock. Now my first pick is quite a doozy. I love everything about Bravely Default 2, which is as purposefully traditional as you can get with a JRPG. It's got a boatload of tough challenges and boss fights. It's got a nifty Brave and Default system where you can store turns and build up for a powerful set of attacks and magical spells, or just spend them up front for a burst of power at the cost of losing a few turns. It's also got a nifty weight equipment system that forces you to be creative with your party setup when changing classes using the patented job system, which I should add is pretty solid and mechanically sound. The jobs here aren't the most bizarre and outlandish when compared to its prequels and FF cousins, but they're awesome to use and to experiment with nonetheless. Plus, the weight system means that you can't actually just auto-buy the same equipment for your party every single time. You need to plan what you need to get, and also maximize your power and everything. Plus, you get to paint the job that debuffs like heck. What's there not to love? Its story isn't the most original, but it takes a number of surprisingly dark turns. It also has a pretty great set of side quests that help flesh out the main characters and even the people you meet and fight along the way. Did I mention that the music rocks? Coupled with a minigame that can surpass Triple Triad in terms of addictiveness, and you have a Nintendo Switch exclusive JRPG you have to get if you haven't. Definitely not for the faint of heart who cannot stand bosses who one-shot you if you're ill-equipped. I wouldn't file Nier Replicant as a traditional RPG, or even a traditional game, at least in the first few hours. You control a dude named Nier who has to find a cure for his little sister. He also meets unique party members along the way, and you fight enemies and level up. Nier Replicant's action beats and weapon variety is entertaining, and features some stellar boss fights. However, the game's hook and underlying theme start getting a hold onto you once you've gone through the many endings and additional scenarios after the first credit screen, which you should be able to get to in 10 hours or so. I won't be spoiling anything here, but I'll just say this: shit gets real. It's definitely worth buying right now. It's definitely an improvement from the game we used to play 10 years back. If you want your fast-paced action RPG jolly sated, look no further than Ys 9, the latest sequel to the Ys series. You play a redhead adventurer named Adol who is trapped in the city of Balduk due to magical circumstances. However, he and his other new compatriots in this entry gain special superhero monstrum powers while inside the place, which includes wall climbing, gliding, rock breaking, and using a red claw thing to reach unreachable spots. Apart from dungeon crawling in ruins, solving puzzles, and killing loads of demons and monsters, you also have to play a tower defense bit where you protect a glowing MacGuffin from waves of monsters and giant bosses. You have all your teammates helping you out, either as AI party members or through support abilities that trigger whenever you meet certain battlefield criterias. The action here is solid and controls great, with special attacks and counters and flash dodges being part of your repertoire. There's also a weapon triangle system in place, so you need to switch party members with the right weapon type to defeat certain enemies fast. Its only main issue is that it's doing the same thing as its predecessor, Ys 8, albeit in a slightly shorter and more restricted manner. That's not really a bad thing, but it's hard to top the last game since it featured an epic storyline about nature versus nurture, with a buttload of dinosaurs and giants to fight. Still, Ys 9 is a standout action RPG title with a decent plot and features top-tier gameplay that's challenging and addictive. Sometimes that's more than enough when you're on an RPG maker who has to be creative with a budget. Old Ys fans will get a kick out of the candid references and escalating action, while newer Ys fans will adore what's on tap here. As far as standalone and easy to follow Falcom titles go, this one will do just fine for the year. I still haven't finished this Capcom title, but so far, Monster Hunter Stories 2 is great comfort food. Capcom did a great job with the presentation and battle system of the game. It may feel like a monster collectathon, yes, but it can go deeper than that. See, all fights are done in turn-based fashion with two characters with their one monster partner, or monsties in this case. God, that's a stupid name. Your attacks also have a weapon triangle system which you'll need to master to get the upper edge against wild monsters, be it regular foes or bosses. You can pull off tag team attacks by picking the same attack type under certain conditions, command your monsties to pull out special moves, switch your weapons and even monsties to fit the combat situation, and also perform a special ride move that not only heals your character and monstie for a fair bit, but also pull off ultimate super moves. And in Monster Hunter fashion, you also need to target monster parts to break them, either to gain additional materials for better armor and weapon crafting, or to just stun them and negate certain power attacks and tech they have. Coupled with a pretty nice semi-linear world-type area to explore, where you need to use monstie field abilities like rock breaking, swimming, vine climbing, and dashing to get around and explore, and you have a huge time sink of a game that can last you for 40 plus hours. The weakest element in Monster Hunter Stories 2 is its story. Its narrative is certainly more involved than a traditional Monster Hunter game. However, it largely stays the same within JRPG tropes and it's really predictable, kinda like a Saturday morning cartoon episodic kinda deal. That said, the story does touch upon some themes that the mainline series never explores, such as clashing worldviews of hunters and riders, as well as some humorous and touching moments. Plus, the presentation is top-notch. Monster Hunter Stories 2 is an all-around solid JRPG experience, especially if you're into collectathons and making monster menageries into mega powers. While the title retains some of the series' hallmark elements, its emphasis on monster collecting and its fun turn-based battle system makes it a decidedly different experience than Monster Hunter Rise, one that even those who struggled to get into the proper Monster Hunter series can enjoy. I can't cap off this list without mentioning the 60 plus hours I spent on Scarlet Nexus, which is a brand new IP from Bandai Namco which is as anime as all heck. And that's coming from the company that made a ton of Tales of games. Despite the story relying on a few anime tropes for the first hour or so, it takes a turn into the screwy and crazy past the 5-hour mark, no matter which main protag you pick. No spoilers here, but the 30 hours you spend here is pretty worth it if you're into sci-fi anime lunacy. Just keep in mind that a huge chunk of it is all visual novel talking heads, though it's done in a lovely looking and heartfelt comprehensible manner. What about the combat though? It's pretty awesome. It's real time, it's got a lot of hack and slash action elements and feel to it a la your Devil May Cries and Bayonettas, and the controls are spot on and tight. Your attacks come out fast and can be cancelled, barring a few exceptions. Your psychokinesis powers let you use environmental hazards and objects to smash and weaken foes. You'll also need to borrow your teammates' special powers through the SAS system to stand a chance against the bigger others monsters. And yes, you can ride a bus down someone's face with your mind powers. You can power up your skills and gain new abilities using the brain tree, and you can power yourself up passively with the brain drive, or go Super Saiyan with brain field, where your normal attacks are just telekinesis overdrive nonsense. It can be a tad repetitive quest-wise if you're doing a replay of the other protag scenario. However, you still keep your previous playthroughs, levels and items, so the grind is non-existent. Simply put, Scarlet Nexus is a lovely addition and a great new start to a potentially lucrative anime RPG vehicle under the Bandai Namco gravy train. On that note, Hanabi, Sugumi and Kyoka are best waifus. And that is it for the JRPGs that I've personally played through. All of them are worthy of your time and money. If you want more features like these, as well as walkthroughs and other fun stuff, do subscribe to our YouTube page and hit that notification icon. That helps us a lot, makes us continue doing this more. I'll cap off this feature with upcoming RPGs you should keep an eye on that should be coming out in the next 6 months or so. Until then, stay safe and keep on gaming.